Tell that Yah family this time. May the peace of Yah come upon you when you learn to obey Him, brothers and sisters. What we're going to cover? We're going to cover the restoration of Yah people. Restoring Yah people, brothers and sisters. This is what y'all going to do, brothers and sisters. I'm under the weather a little bit, so I have to blow my nose from time to time, so excuse me, family. So we're gonna cover and look at the book right here of Zephaniah, the prophet. And so we're going to read a little summary they have of this book that was written, and we're going to cover it starting right here. It said the title of the prophecy informed us that the ministry of Zephaniah took place during the reign of Yoshiah, 640 to 609 BC, 2,400 years ago, brothers and sisters, around that time period. The main focus of the right here is governed around what we call Elohim worship, El worship, which is idolatry worship, idol worship. That was contrary to Yah, brothers and sisters, that our nation turned to the other nations and began to reject Yah, and turn their backs on Yah and follow the ways of the other nation. So Yah sent the prophets to warn them to turn back and warn them of the judgment. So right here it reads, it said the protest against the worship of false gods. See the God, this word God, gods, generalize all terms and beings that refer to himself as gods, from images, idols, and people. See, the worship of false gods, that's a modern term, gods, but Elohims, E-L-I-L, which is idols. People turn to the worship, the creation, the things of the heaven and the earth and the sea beneath, the Abiyah told us not to do. Strictly, he gave the information, the Torah, to Moshe. And that covered the first two laws. Abiyah wants exclusively worship. That's what he told Moshe. Worship him only, nothing else. So he said the protest, see, the worship of false gods. And condemnation of the pro-Assyrian court ministry who served as regents during Yoshiah ministry. It's allowed us to place the work in the first decade of reigns, according to the prophecies of Zephaniah. They got Zephaniah, but it's Zephaniah comes rightly before that of Yeremiah, who was probably influenced by it in both language and ideas. Since the age of Zephaniah was a time of, they got religious degradation, when the old idolatries reappeared and men worship sun, moon, and stars. See? Rites completely alien to the pure. They got monotheism, but we do not worship gods taught by Moshe, flourished in Yashalom, see, to corrupt cities. Zephaniah announced impending judgment, see, the day of Yah. See, the first part of Zephaniah covers the day of Yah. The day of Yah came upon our nation. Yah, the capital city, brothers and sisters, at that time, See, the northern tribe was already expelled from the land. Now the judgment is coming down on Yah. That's what you got to keep in mind. The day of Yah came upon his people first, but the next time we're going to cover that too. Hopefully I can cover much information in this video. So I'm trying to read that fast and try to not explain too much. That's why I'm giving you the briefing now. The first part you'll see the destruction that came upon our nation and how we were spared for all the things we've done, idolatry practice, serving Elohims, gods. And you can see the judgment of Yah concerning these gods. And then he said he's going to deal with the other nations once we be restored. So you got to understand what I'm saying, brothers. Certain things you're going to see plainly what we got to do. Y'all not going to come there and hold our hands. He bring his words like he brought his words from the prophets before to give to his people. But they rejected his word. And them same words is back at the people of Yah again. And that maybe, and I know by his words of Yah, the remnant of Yah will obey and get the shame removed from this. So let me cover this. There's a very important video, brothers and sisters, I'm sharing with you right now. So that's why I'm going over the little summary right here of the lesson before I get into it. It's very important. But it's greater than just a lesson. This is a way of life. This is what took place in history. A lesson of our history. And a lesson of our future and our present day. Because before you get into the future, you must carry out certain things in your present to bring all of this into fruition, into the light. So I'm trying to find my mark right here. Say the age of Zephaniah was a time of religious degradation when the old idolatries reappeared. And men worship. I read that part, I'm skipped some of that. It said they worship all of these things, right, completely alien to the pure announcement that impeding judgment. See? It said, it said, to the corrupt city, Sophia announced the impeding judgment, the day of Yah. The prophecy may be divided into their section corresponding to all, to the 3 chapters of the book. So let's get into it right now. See, they got the day of Yah, a day of doom. The last few verses of this oracle gives to classic description of the day of Yah. So let's get into it right now, brothers and sisters. I hope I have enough light. So I want to come close. I moved up to the table so I can get into this. So we're going to go right into chapter 1. It said, the words of Yah, which came to Sophia, the son of Cushai, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Meriah, the son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah. Josiah was a great king of Yah, a righteous king, and the son of Ammon, the king of Yada. You see that? It said, the day of Yah, a day of doom. I will completely sweep away all things from the face of the earth, says Yah. I will sweep away men and beasts. I will sweep away the birds of the sky, the fishes of the sea. I will overthrow the wicked. I will destroy mankind from the face of the earth, says Yah. I will stretch out my hand against Yah. See right there? And against all the inhabitants of Yashalom. And I will destroy from this place the last vestige of Baal. See that? Baal. The very names of his prince, his priests, and those who adore the host of heaven on the roof. See, those who worship the host of heaven on their rooftops. These things our people done with those who adore Yah but swear by Malcolm. See, they adore Yah but they swear by Malcolm. Like people say they adore Yah today, but they swear by some false Messiah or some Elohim. So they keep reading, as they did before. It said, and those who have fallen away from Yah. See, this talking about in the time past before the day of Yah came, and it came. And those who do not seek Yah. Silence in the presence of Yah. Bara, see the Creator. For near is the day of Yah. Yes, Yah has prepared a slaughter feast. See, and he has consecrated his guests on the day of Yah's slaughter feast. I will punish the princes and the king's sons. The king's sons. And all that dress in foreign apparel. See that? A lot of people, even today, our people dress in foreign apparel like our people did in the time past. But this is talking about the time past, and our people dress today in European suits with pride and not ashamed. But this is talking about the day of the judgment that came back then. See, they were wearing foreign suits, apparels. He said, I will punish on that day all who leap over the threshold, who the house of their master with violence and deceit. On that day, says Yah, a cry will be heard from the fish gate, a wail from the new quarter, loud crushing from the hills. I will skip some of this because this the day that came upon Yah Shalom and Yah. At that time, I will explore Yah Shalom with lamps, and I will punish the men who thickens on their lees, who say in their hearts, neither they got good, but it's righteous, no evil can Yah do. This is how they were boasting against Yah. He said their wealth will be given to pillage, see, be taken. And all that took place, and their houses to devastation. They will build houses, but shall not dwell in them. Plant yards, but not drink their wine. Near is the great day of Yah, near, very swiftly coming. Hark, the day of Yah, bitter, then the warriors cry. A day of wrath is that day, a day of anguish and distress, a day of destruction and desolation, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of thick black clouds, a day of trumpet blasts and battles alarms. Against the fortified cities, against the battlement on high, I will heal men until they walk like the blind, because they have sinned against Yah. You see that? And their blood shall pour out like dust, and their brains like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to save them on the day of Yah wrath, when all fire of his jealousy. All the earth shall be consumed, for he shall make an end, yes, a sudden end of all who live on the earth. See, that is the day. See, it went from talking about what took place to Yah and Yah Shalom. And everybody knows our whole nation got expelled out of that land. And only a few escaped to repopulate, brothers and sisters, during that time period. And then it go right into talking how the judgment in the day of Yah will come upon the earth. So let's continue right here. It says in chapter 2, the day of Yah, a day of judgment. It's a gather. This brothers and sisters, Yada and Yashayel Yah. This is the instruction that Abiyah gave the prophet right here for you to do and to comprehend and to know, to understand the words of Yah. That's why I'm hocking on this, emphasizing this, because this is very important that you get this. Because Yah is saying right here in chapter 2, the beginning, this is instruction that was given to the prophet for you and for our time today. Before the day of Yah come on the earth upon all nations, his people that is the remnant must do a certain thing first. It's right here. It says gather yourselves. See, it said yourselves together. And that statement alone is telling you the instruction is to gather yourselves together. See, together, to unite, to come together, to rally, to make a union. Chapter 37 of Ezekiel talk about the dry bones reassembling back together. See, this is a restoration process right here. Y'all opening up right here before the day of Yah come. See how Yah said he give this it's a mercy period come to gather the remnant together before he judged the nation that is destroying the earth. So it's something we must do, but not stay idle. See, we got to gather. Some people have to leave their houses. If you don't leave, you will be destroyed in them houses. That's why I tell you to sell them. We got to gather in a central location till we all come together as a nation and go back into our land and repossess the land. Yah is not coming down here to hold your hands. He come with instructions like he told Moshe. Go and tell Pharaoh. That was his instruction. Go and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. They had to go in there. In the video of Yah said, you're going to do all these signs to show his power over the Elohim's there. And he did it. But they had to go. Moshe and Aaron was with him to gather the people. Moshe was the one that spoke for Yah and told Pharaoh what Yah was going to do. And he done it. Yah said in the last days he will raise up a remnant. He said he was going to raise up from the seed of David a branch that will be a sign of Yah's salvation among you, that will rally you and call you to come together. Yah is not coming down here and saying, I'll come together. His words go before him. Remember, he said his word will not turn back void. It's going to carry out everything. See, when the word is given, when the words are into your ears and into your heart, your mind, it's telling you to react, to do, and obey him. Right here, he said, gather. Gather. This is coming. Your translation might read a little different from a translation called the New Testament American Bible. A St. Joseph edition, they call it. So right here, it says, gather yourselves together, O nation, without shame. Some translators might say, gather yourself together, O nation, not desire. So right here, it's telling you, it's giving you what we got to do. So when you gather, yes, it's telling you got to leave some things to get to someplace else for the greater. It's for your protection, or you're going to die if you rebel against Yah. I'm here to tell you this, brothers and sisters. Because the gathering won't take place forever. I'm showing you right here, in this translation called the Living Bible, paraphrase translation, it reads, it says, gather together and pray, you shameless nation, while there is still time before judgment begins. See? So this one to make any place, gather together. That's Yah's word telling us from the prophets. Everyone who hear this and reject Yah, you're going to die in sin and in captivity. It's a gather together. This is the order, the instruction of the will of Yah, the command of Yah, and pray. You shameless nation. See, it says shame those who with arrogance and pride. You're not ashamed of your sins. You're not ashamed what you do. He said, you shameless nation. He talking about his nation. Gather together and pray, you shameless nation, while there is still time before judgment begins, and your opportunity is blown away like chaff before the fierce anger of Yah falls, and the terrible day of his wrath begins. Beg him to save you, all who are humble, and all who have tried to obey. See, one said, walk humbly and do what is right. And said, perhaps even yet Yah will protect you from his wrath in that day of doom. Right here, God, it's a Gaza, Ashkelon, Ishdal, Ekron. These Philistine cities too will root out and left in destruction. See, they're going to be rooted out and left in destruction. And woe to you Philistines. They got an A, it's a Philistines, they got Shuraheites, Shuraheites or Cretans with the Philistines. They were part of a great wave of immigrants to the southern coast of the Philistines around 12 BCE. So you get that, brother and sister, around that period of time, people migrated there. It said, woe to you, Philistine, living on the coast and in the land of Canaan. For the judgment is against you too. Yah will destroy you until not one of you is left. The coastline will become a pasture, a place of shepherds, camps, and folds for sheep. See that? He said, there the little remnant of the tribe of Yah will be pastured. You see that? We're going to reoccupy that land and have that spot where they at. But the remnant, little remnant that is left, that obey Yah, that escape, that obey Yah and gather. Yah will be pastured. And they will lie down to rest in the abandoned houses of Ashkelon. For Yah will visit his people in kindness and restore their property. Restore their prosperity again. He said, I have heard the taunts of the people of Moab and Ammon, mocking my people and invading their land. See that? The Moabites, the Ammonites, of Lot's seed. It said, therefore, as I live, says Yah of hosts, Barah of Yashael Yah, Moab and Ammon will be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah, and become a place of stinging needles and salt pits and eternal desolation. And those are my people who are left will plunder and possess them. See? We're going to plunder their land and we're going to possess their land on the east coast of our land. And they will receive the wages of their pride. For they have scoffed at all the people of Yah. You see that? Of hosts. And Yah will do terrible things to them. He will starve out all those gods of foreign powers. You see that? All the Elohim. See, right here in verse 12, I'm going to come right here real quick. Verse 12 of chapter 2. It's very important. Right here, in verse 12 of chapter 2, but let me start with verse 11 in this particular translation. It said, Yah shall inspire them with fear, when he make all the gods of the earth to waste away. You see that? All the gods, Elohim. The equivalent word to gods is Elohim. If you look it up in strong concordance, you'll see gods are Elohim. So he said all. He said make all, not some. If there's some, all the gods. Big G, little g, all the gods. So Yah is not a god, but they put in any translation that he's a god. But it said all the gods. And don't do it say all the false gods or all the righteous gods. No, all the gods of the earth to waste away. Then each from its own place, all the coastlines of the mountain shall adore him. Who? Yah. You too, O Cushites. They're talking about the Egyptians that have many gods you see. He said, you're going to make all these gods waste away, brothers and sisters, on the day of Yah, when the time period of Yah comes. So let me go back to this translation right here. In verse 11, say, right here, I said 12, but verse, it says, Yah will do terrible things to them. He will starve out all those gods of foreign powers. See right here? Of the foreign powers. Everyone should worship him, each in his own land throughout the world. See, each being, each nation in their own land will worship Yah. This is what it's coming down to. But remember in early part of chapter 2, I'll plainly tell us, we got to gather ourselves. That's why he sent one. And some others that tell you to rally, O nation not desire. O shameless nation. The remnant of Yah must obey Yah. But those who don't will die. He said, while it's time. Showing the door, opportunity to go close. Now he got me speaking in this time because it's time. But it's not going to remain time. When I'm finished speaking with the rest that speak these words of Yah, the time will be up. And when we gather, the rest will be consumed with their enemies, brothers and sisters. And a few men and women are going to be left on this earth to tell about it. There's going to be great devastation y'all bringing, brothers and sisters, on this earth. He's going to allow it to be afflicted. If you believe it or not, if you think America's going to be luscious and it's prospering, you can go state to state and make all the money you want to. You're going to die in that thought. Because we're in the gathering period now. The words is going out to rally, to come together. It's not a game, brothers. You're going to die when you reject Yah. And you won't be a part of the remnant of Yah. It says, you Ethiopians, too, will be slain by his sword. And so will the lands of the north. He will destroy Assyria and make its great capital Nineveh a desolated wasteland, like a wilderness. That once proud city will become a pasture land for sheep. All sorts of wild animals will have their homes in her. Hedgehogs will burrow there. And the vultures and the owls will live among the ruins of her palaces, hooting from a gaping windows. The raven will croak from her doors. Croak from her doors, and all her cedar paneling will lie open. So let's keep it covered, and all these things will come and to the wind and to the weather. This is the fate of that vast, prosperous city that lived in such security, that said to herself, in all the world there is no city great as I. But now see how she has become a place of utter ruins and a place of animals to live. Everyone passing that way will mock or shake his head in disbelief. See, these things is coming, brothers and sisters. See, right here, it goes back and tell you right here about the sinful nation. It's a woe to the filthy, sinful Yashalom, city of violence and crime. In her pride, she won't listen. See? A lot of people today, and they pride in me, your money making, your houses, your cars. You won't listen. You reject Yah. See, they did this covenant what they did back then, and before Yah came and put us out that land. This was the mindset. And so won't listen, even to the voice of Bara, the Creator. No one can tell her anything. She refuses all corrections. She does not trust Yah, nor seek for Bara. See, I'll answer, many of our people do these things. I see all kinds of foolish talk on the internet. People got a little bit of money in their pocket, and they totally don't know Yah. It said her leaders are like roaring lions hunting for their victims, out for everything they can get. You see that? The same mindset of the people. Her judges are like ravenous wolves at the evening time, who by dawn have left no trace of their prey. Her prophets are liars seeking their own gain. Her priests defile the temple by their disobedience to Barah's law. You see that? That's why we are punished. All these things was going in our nation. But Yah is dead within the city, and he does no wrong. Day by day, his justice is more evidence. But no one heeds. The wicked know no shame. You see that? Many of our brothers, regardless of what you tell them, they will go on Facebook, man and woman, and put nasty pictures on it and bestiality on it to insinuate, for a joke, for a light. They know no shame. But Abiyah said, "O shameless nation, gather yourself together. While it's time, or you're going to die. I have cut off many nations." See, Abiyah told, he was telling the prophet, I have cut off many nations, lying them waste to their furthest borders. I have left their streets in silent ruins and their cities deserted without a single survivor to remember what occurred. I thought surely they will listen to me now. Surely they will heed my warnings, so that I'll not need to strike again. But no, however much I punish them, they continue all their evil ways from dawn to death, death to dawn. But Yah say, be patient. The time is coming soon when I will stand up and accuse these evil nations. For it is my decision to gather together the kingdoms of the earth and pour out my fierce anger and wrath upon them. And all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. At that time I will change the speech of my returned people to pure Hebrew, so that all can worship Yah together. You see that? See, Yah said the returned people, the ones that going to gather themselves and obey Yah. And I've been covering that over the last moons to you. And I was showing you the sign of Yah, of salvation, and who going to stand. Right now, I can say right now, not many have this knowledge in the earth. I might be just the very one that is that sign of salvation for you, family. That Yah put in the earth because I have that knowledge. And not many do, brothers and sisters, at this time. It said those who live far up beyond the rivers of Ethiopia will come with their offerings and asking me to be their Barah again. You see that? And then you will then you will no longer need to be ashamed of yourselves, for you will no longer be rebels against me. And I will remove all your proud and arrogant men from among you. And there will be no pride of haughtiness on my Kodesh mountain. And those who are left will be poor and humble, and they will trust in the name of Yah. And they will not be sinners full of lies and deceit. They will quietly in peace and lie down in safety, and no one will make them afraid. You see that, brothers? I'm going to read this a little bit from the other translation real quick to show you the words of Yah. I'm showing the restoration of Yah right now, brothers and sisters. Let me start right here in chapter 3 of Zephaniah right here in verse 11. No, 10. It says, from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, as far as the recesses of the north, they shall bring me offering. On that day, You need not be ashamed of all your deeds, your rebellious actions against me, for then will I remove from your midst the proud braggarts. And you shall no longer exalt yourselves on the mount, on Michael mountain, but I will leave as a remnant in your midst a people humble and lowly, who shall take refuge in the name of Yah. See, the shelter in the name of Yah, the remnant of Yashael Yah. They shall do no wrong and speak no lies, nor shall there be found in their mouths a deceitful tongue. They shall pasture and couch their flocks, which is take care of their flocks. They shall pasture. That's the kind of work we're going to be doing with other little things as well. We're going to live a simple life, back to the earth life, with none to disturb them. Shout for joy, O daughters of Zion. Sing joyfully, O Yashael Yah. Be glad and exult with all your heart, O daughters of Yashalom. Yah has removed the judgment against you. He has turned away your enemies. The king of Yashael Yah is in your midst. And you have no further misfortune to fear. See, no more punishment going to come upon us at that time. On that day, it shall be said to Yashalom, fear not, O Zion. Be not discouraged. Yah, your Barah, is in your midst, a mighty Savior. He will rejoice over you with gladness and renew you in love. He will sing joyfully because of you as one sing at feast. See, these are the words of the Yah, the living words of Yah, brother and sister. He doing all of this for you. But he asks you, he tell you, he give you a command, the commission, the authority to gather yourselves together. See, the process is to gather yourselves together. That means you have to obey. And then in all the prophets, plainly tell you, the one who's going to rally you and say, gather yourselves together. He said, you're going to gather unto him. That's the order of Yah, brothers and sisters. Here little, there little. Line upon line, precept upon precept. It's how you make known the words of Yah. Brother and sister,